And howdy, folks. It's another Halloween story. I've got, dozens of them. Maybe less. I don't know. And try the Twix Ghosts. Well, most of us have had Twix. So I'm not really too concerned if it tastes like a Twix. Twix is a traditional American candy bar. I know I have some international viewers. I have some viewers. Not many. And not many, but people are out there. There's a few people who like me. So, hey. Good for you guys. But this is more or less what we're concerned with on this. What a Twix is, it's like a cookie, which would be in the UK a biscuit. I don't know what else it is called anywhere else in the world. It has a caramel topping on it, and it's all coated in chocolate. But what we really care about is it ghostly? And it is. It says Twix on it. Let's take a bite. It's a Twix. Now you can see right here, the cookie. A little caramel on top. Coated in chocolate. Ghostly Twix. Tastes like a Twix. It's good. Nothing special. It's always fun when they get the pattern right. Pretty famously, Reese's came out with, several years ago, they came out with Christmas tree shaped Reese's peanut butter cups. They look like turds. That's what they look like. So it's always kind of cool when, you decide to do ghost, or you decide to do it, and it looks like it. Anyway, on to my story. I'm going to call this one my 15 minutes of fame. I was doing pin face a lot this year at a haunt. It was down in San Jose at a abandoned outdoor mall. It's not a permanent location, but we got to work with it. And it was the room where I was doing chainsaw. I mentioned this story as to why you don't give away scares, or I knocked a guy out. Not my fault, but it happened. Now, this one, I did a lot of pin face at this haunt. I was still doing pin face at this time. I would go through all the makeup work. Oh, it was a pain. And, let's see, I had a full roam, and I learned this house very, very, very well. There's a lot of back ways where actors can get in and out of scenes and do multiple scenes, and sometimes you had to go down the hallways, but I knew it, and I could play within the house and outside. One night there was a gal, I guess she was there with her mom and her aunt, I want to say. Too long ago to remember clearly that stuff. And I don't know if she was turned 17, 18, 19. She was maybe 20, in that age range. She was not a kid. We didn't get a lot of kids. We didn't encourage kids. It was not a kid's haunt. It was, when people would come up with their 5-year-old or a kid in a stroller and say, can my kid handle this? Usually my reaction was, I really hope you know your kid better than I do, but are you nuts? You know your kid can't handle this. Well, anyways, I was menacing and messing with this gal in line, and I was starting to speak a bit as pin face. I was learning to interact with, speaking lines, I guess you'd say. Generally, people would look at me and, they'd be whispering, he can't talk, he doesn't talk. Don't worry, he won't talk. Because that would scare them for some reason, I don't know why. And then all of a sudden, I just turn and go, I speak. And that was enough to freak people out. I don't know why. But it was always a fun line, just, I speak. And then they'd say, well, why don't you talk to me? I go, you're not worth it. And walk away or so, just weird things. But it's another big fun thing to do was to learn a person's name. It's pretty easy to do. Eventually, while you're menacing someone's going to grab the girl and say, Jennifer, don't be so afraid. In that moment, you know. And you walk away, come back 10 minutes later, and you're looking at her, and she's scared because she sees you again. You go, Jennifer, did you miss me? And you'll get how did you know my name? How do you know who I am? And it was, So I learned this one girl's name because her mom said it. And I held it and I used it on her, as a, and she was just, this girl was terrified of me. Everywhere I would see her, and I would work at the line, and this was part of the gig where you would be, the line twists and turns, and you just kind of wait at one point, and all of a sudden they'd come around a turn, and there you'd be, and it'd be, hello, Jennifer. Or whatever her name was, his name. Generally, guys didn't freak out as much, but girls, yeah, they did. And you'd do whatever in the line. Well, this one was really terrified, so I said, that's it, I'm taking it to the house. And as they went in, I was pretty good at timing it so I could be in a scene, actually in the scene. I could be the pop scare. I could be coming out of the cat, or I would just be in the scene. A lot of times there I was in my full pinhead, outfit, sitting on a couch, like sipping a cup of tea as they'd walk in. And she would see me in the scene, freak out. And the actor would just be laughing his ass off at he's like, cool, go for it. I never wanted to screw up the actors' gigs, but they loved that stuff. And it was always, half the time I wouldn't do anything but be in the scene. And I'd be like cooking eggs if it was a kitchen scene, or it's just weird stuff like that. But she would see me and I'd look at her and smile with some sinister smile, maybe say her name, whatever. And it was all throughout the haunt until the end. And sure enough, at the end, there I was waiting for them to come out. And I greeted her. And I kind of let them go. And the mom kind of said, gave me this, you can nod, like, follow us to the car. Which sometimes we'd do that. If it was, you didn't really want to, because you also had to be careful. You don't want to chase someone into traffic once they're leaving the haunt. But actually getting to their car as long as everything was safe within a parking lot. And, the mom even opened the side door to let me in the car. So that when she got in her side, I got in another side that the mom opened for me. And I'm sitting in the car and going, are we going home, Jennifer? And I got out and I kind of laughed. And then and then it was maybe half an hour to an hour later, the same family comes back. And they stopped me. And they said, and the girl's now laughing. She got over it all, and she really had a blast. And that's what really the haunts are about. It's about fun. She went there to be scared, and we did it, and she liked it. And that's a side note. I'll never get this. You get people who come through, and at the end, they complain. You were too scary. We didn't like it. I go, really? Do you go to a comedy show and complain, you were too funny. You made me laugh too much. I want my money back. No, we are paid to evoke an emotion. If you go see, a Dead Dog Dies movie and you cry, well, you paid for someone to make you cry. And people do pay to have emotions evoked. And fear is an emotion. Laughter and joy is an emotion. Sadness is an emotion. And we like it. We want that to be brought out of us at times. So some people don't really realize that other people want to be scared. Now, they may not want it. They shouldn't go to it. If you don't want to laugh, don't go to a comedy. If you don't want to cry, don't go see a tragedy. But they wanted it. You know, she wanted to be scared out of her wits for her birthday. She got it and she loved it, and they wanted a picture with me. And it was it my no, it couldn't have been my first. It was not uncommon as a line actor to have people, you know, want to pose. Like, you go to Disneyland, you're going to pose with Mickey. I was one of the characters. I was, you know, a named character, a main one, a common one. So I appeared on, like, not on some promotional items, whatever. So she wanted a picture with Pinface, and I took one, and I don't know what I did, if I hugged her or, you know, put my arm around her, or I know I threatened her with my sickle, which was my weapon, but I was probably, you know, arm around her and the sickle at her throat, or something silly like that. And it was a bloody plastic sickle. It was a silly weapon. And that was it. It was a really cute moment. Well, now let's fast forward to a year later, a full year later. The haunt, and one of the things that would happen is at the end of the haunt, we'll call him the owner, the director, the owner, whatever. He also owned a limo company. And certain people, mainly room designers, a few key actors and whatnot, like the VIPs, and I was always in that group, would get to go to a special end of the season party. And these were people who put in a lot of extra hours, did something special for the haunt. Generally, I was always a room designer, generally room designers, and it was a cheesy party. It was nothing to be jealous about. Usually, you know, he owned a limo company, so we'd get picked up, and most of the people just thought it was so exciting to ride in a limo. I'd ridden in a limo. It's not any more exciting than any other car. And actually, it's a pain in the ass getting into limos, more than any other cars. Anyways, I don't like limos. They're cramped in the back. They're stupid. I'd rather just be in a bus. You know, it's like comfortable. You can sleep, or an RV or something. But anyway, they would take out like 5 or 6 of his limos and load up the whole crew, and they would drive to places. And we'd go to dinner. We had a big fancy dinner at, like, you know, a pizza place. It was not expensive. It was not fancy. Chili's or, you know, Red Robin type of thing. And then maybe an event after. Excuse me. Excuse me, I need a drink here. I'm sorry. Dry throat. There's one year, the event, we went to a bowling alley. And we're going to bowl. Now, I'm a bowler. I like bowling. Didn't know we were going bowling, so I didn't bring my gear. And I didn't care to get in and wasn't excited. I was like, yeah, I'll go grab a house ball and, you know, throw a game or two. It'll be fun. I was more interested in socializing with my friends. And we're out in the parking lot socializing while they went in to check in or whatever. And apparently that girl I had frightened a year ago was the girl working the front desk at the bowling alley. And I didn't know that. And they come out and like Pinface, which was, you know, the haunt character name. You got a fan in here. I'm like, what? Leave me alone. That's stupid. I don't have any fans. You know, that sort of stupid stuff. And, you know, come on in. We got a fan. I'm like, okay. I walk in, and I actually did recognize her. It was I ministered for a whole night. So, yes, I recognized her. And she just kind of, and she saw me out of costume, out of makeup, same beard, but she recognized me. It was a Van Dyke beard at the time, but she recognized me, and she goes, "It is you! Oh my God! Oh my!" And she's screaming. I goes, "I love you! You are my favorite!" I'm like, "Okay." She goes, "Just a minute. I need someone to watch the desk." And she has someone watch for her. She runs out to her car and comes back with the picture I took with her a year ago. And she asked me if I would sign it. And I did. I was like, holy crap. I mean, that was my 15 minutes of fame. I couldn't believe it. I still am like, flabbergasted that happened. It was really, really special to me. And I've always kept that in mind, that when I'm years later, no matter what I'm doing, I might make someone's year. I might make, really, really make someone's evening or year or something. Or I'm just a guy in the background. Doesn't matter. I'm doing something that can be important, and it was important to at least one person ever. Yeah, I really like that. That was probably one of my most special memories from being a haunt actor. All the other just good, silly scares, but that was when I knew I made an impact on someone. All right, thanks, folks. I hope you enjoyed.